Well, this road here, can you hear this now? Yeah. This road here was called Bela Kappa, and it was called after the McCabes, because down here in this old house here, the McCabes, and there was 13 of a family in that house, and on this top end here, that complex there was 2 houses, but the low end was the McCabes, and up here was the Woods, people by the name of Woods. Now there was only a couple of them, but there was 13 McCabes down there, reared in there, and all they had was about 3 acres of land, and the old man McCabe ploughed that with a horse and plough, and planted potatoes and corn to feed the family. And there was no luxury that time. That was about 1912, and anywhere they had to go from here, they walked. And you were lucky if you had a bicycle. Maybe the father of the family would have had a bicycle, but that would have been all. And if you were going to your church or going to your school, you had to walk to the school. And they went to Ballynaclosia School, about 2 mile, maybe 3 mile from here. And they walked up that old road there, up as far as they could go, and then they crossed the fields to get to the school. And they only stayed in school at that particular time. They stayed in school till they were about 11-year-old. And then, seeing that there was no money coming in, usually went away to be hired with big farmers down in County Down or County Tyrone or wherever they could get work, and they'd get maybe £4 for 6 months. And if you were an exceptional good worker, you might have got £6 for 6 months. And then that was saved up. You practically spent none of it. You took it home to your father and mother to keep the rest of the brothers and sisters and food and whatnot all. But there was no pictures, there was no discos in them days. So it was a struggle to keep food on the table and to clothe them. As a matter of fact, most of the family went without any shoes or socks. They usually in the summertime they all went barefoot to school. And if they went to church of a Sunday, they might have had a reasonable good set of clothes for Sunday, but once you come home from Mass or church, the clothes were changed and you got back into your old clothes again. And that was the way it was done in those days. Well, we're now in the shed or the byre that would have been used by the McCabes for to keep their livestock or any livestock that they would have had for to keep for to eat or for to plough the land. Now up here, this was the byre, and as you can see, there are 2 holes there. There was a door here, of course, but it's not here now. But up there are the 2 holes where the cattle would have been, or the cow and calf would have been tied up there, and when the door would be shut, that would be the fresh air for the cow and the calf, to keep them, of course, to keep them alive. You'll probably see here the rings on the floor. That was when the cow and the calf when they were raising up after laying down all night, that they wouldn't slip on the floor, because the floor would probably have been wet, and if there was no rings, they could have slipped and broke their leg, and then there'd be no cow. And over there there was a pig house, and there'd be 1 sow and a litter of pigs, and that the pigs were in all probability be about 6 or 7 piglets, maybe 8 or 9 if you were lucky. And whenever it came, there'd be a local butcher in the area, and he would come and he would kill the pigs when they'd be ready for the market. And the pigs then would be hung up in the kitchen, inside in the kitchen. They'd be hung up on hooks for to dry out, and they'd be hung there for maybe 6 or 7 days, and then they'd be sold to the local shops that for lumps of bacon and ham, and then the rest was kept to feed the family. So there was only one cow and probably one calf, and one sow and a litter of pigs to sustain the whole family of 13 in those days.